Good evening and welcome to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show presented by what? Come on, man. I'm trying to do this intro and you're not letting me do it. Presented. No, we're not starting over.
My mic
No.
was too high. I've never sat in this chair. Go ahead.
Presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. As always, we thank Glow Fiber for providing internet access for tonight's show here in the Southern Ohio Sports Authority studio. Now, I'm John Bruce, along with Jeff Miller and Unioto head coach Matt Hoops. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing well.
I'm sorry I yelled at you.
You did yell.
Yeah. So we're a little bit different tonight. We're filming on a Monday night. It's going to go out on Tuesday. It's just we had some technical difficulties. Christian Spradlin, our producer, did a lot. I'm not going to say everything he could do because I think everything's still working. So he could have tried to break some stuff to make it work, but he did everything he could to make it work.
Everything's still intact.
Yeah, everything's still intact. So on Friday, we should be good to go live again. But thankfully, thanks to Coach Hoops and Coach Carper of Chillicothe, we're going to have some in-studio guests here tonight. And then at least one or two calls to end the episode as well. So we won't have our normal look at the Norfolk Animal Clinic scoreboard that you can check out on sosohio.com. But if you want to check it out, there's scores from each game and every sport. But I don't know if it's the Edward Jones coaches call it or hotline, but you kind of are here. So big win on Friday.
All wins are big wins.
Yes.
But yeah, on the road, opened up league play, to a much improved Huntington team. Coach Wheeler's doing a really good job. I think he's in his third year with that program, and you can just tell that it's starting to pay off. Really proud of our guys. Got off the bus, ready to go. Scored 21 first quarter points, and kind of set the tone early on to get us off to a good start.
Yeah, that's a place Unioto doesn't always play well, and so it is important to jump out to that quick lead. As you mentioned, who is a big part of you guys getting out to that big lead like that?
Well, I think there's a lot of people that had a lot of hands in everything that we did that night. I really feel like a group that kind of gets overlooked but has started to gel, and it seems like it happens every year as our offensive line continues to improve week after week. And then obviously, Cody Braden had another big night running the football, 10 carries, 140 some yards, and 3 touchdowns. You'll be hearing from him in a second. David Long also had a really good night on both sides of the ball for us. Caught 2 passes for close to 80 yards and a touchdown, and led us in tackles with 9. So, those guys tend to spearhead pretty much everything that we do. But we just have a lot of great players, and basically they take turns each Friday night kind of standing out. Jackson Zickafoose again had 2 touchdown catches. Braden Harsher, a freshman, has continued his streak of scoring a touchdown in every game he's played in, which is kind of unheard of for a freshman. And then Isaac Coy had a really good night. He completed 80% of his passes for a little over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, just really good team effort.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things you'd mentioned, Coach, too, is that your first quarter play hadn't been the best, throughout the start of this season, and obviously Friday you mentioned it was such a key to jump out on them early.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we opened up on a Thursday night at Portsmouth and just didn't play well. Whether it was related to us, whether it was related to Portsmouth, whether it was related to, we had officials that were from West Virginia, and I think that there are a few things that are different in Ohio and West Virginia, just in terms of, there's a lot of stoppage of play. And I guess in West Virginia you can't have a drone on the field, but in Ohio you can. So they stopped it for that. And
there's definitely a few things different between West Virginia and Ohio.
The thing, like you and I talked after that game, I think the first quarter was 40-some minutes long.
Yeah.
And so, once we got rolling in that, we were solid. And then the next week at Benton County, we started out a little bit slow. And I think the last couple of weeks with Waverly and Huntington, we've come out the way we wanted to and kind of took care of business in that first quarter and didn't have to kind of wait till the second quarter to explode.
Well, you mentioned your linebackers, with David Long. Judah Zickafoose has been really good as well.
Oh, yeah.
How important has your defensive line been, especially against the run game? But it seemed like they're constantly getting near the quarterback and at least creating hurries if they're not getting hits on the quarterback.
Right, and obviously that was a big question mark coming into the season. When you lose 2 All-Ohio players like Ben Griffin and Marcel James in the middle, who's gonna replace them? And we've had to slide some people around. We moved Bryce Jarvis, who had a really good junior year, all league player as a junior, moved him inside. And then we had Yusef Wilson in there too, who originally started his career as a defensive lineman and moved back to linebacker for a couple years and then back down there. Unfortunately, Yusef got injured, so we've had to rotate other guys in there. Daquan James had a good week this week, and our defensive ends have been really good. Jacob Renner and Luke Howard, those guys have caused a lot of problems for opposing teams' backfield, and then we can rotate guys in. We can move Landon. Give Landon Caruth some snaps at defensive end. He's our center on offense, so we don't like to play him a ton. But when he goes in there, he's very effective. And then J.J. Smith off the edge, rushing the passer on third downs is really good for us as well.
And you mentioned that defensive line. I think, John, you had said that not necessarily getting sacks, but just causing havoc in the backfield. And I think that was, a key. Like, we had Frankie Hershen here the week before, and Frankie's a phenomenal athlete, you know what I mean? And I thought your defense did such a good job of just kind of containing him and not letting him get loose and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be disciplined. You can't just kind of go haywire because guys like that will make you pay. Frankie will make you pay because he'll end up where you were supposed to be, and he's hard to tackle. It's hard enough as it is, so those guys stayed in their rush lanes for the most part. I mean, he made a couple plays, which he's going to do because he's a really good player. But overall, I thought our guys did a really good job of staying disciplined and being where they were supposed to be, and either destructing blocks and allowing our linebackers to make the tackle or making it themselves.
So you mentioned Frankie Hirsch last week. They have several other really good players as well, which is why with Coach Beeler's group, you're going to see more wins this year than what they've had. And overall, it just seems like that program's on the rise. But another really good program that you're playing this week, another really mobile quarterback with Luke Golian. What can you tell us about the Red Streaks coming up this Friday?
Well, I think when you talk about Piketon, especially this year, you talk about their size up front and their experience up front. I think they returned nearly all or most of their offensive linemen from last year, and so they're really good. And anytime you have a good offensive line, it allows players like Luke to be even better than maybe they can be. I mean, he's a great player, but you have good line play, then you become that much better. And any skill kid will tell you that. And Coach Golian, obviously, anytime he's coaching the team, it's a dangerous team. He's been around coaching high school football for I want to say close to 20 years now.
23, I think is what he mentioned to us.
So it's like, he knows what he's doing. And obviously, they're a dangerous team coming off a loss, and we're going to have to prepare really well this week. Thankfully, we do get them at home, but they're going to be a tough out for us.
Then one last thing. So win on Friday, 40th career win at Unioto, a school record. Which we've talked about that with basketball as well, having that, and then someone over to your left might pass you on that coming up in total wins on the basketball side. But
it's not going to take long.
Yeah. So at a program, your home school, where you went, your kids went, how much does it mean, and who's been a big part of that to get you over the hump?
Well, first of all, and Jeff, I know you're going to say the same thing I'm going to say. Once the basketball wins happened and whatever, we held that record. The only reason I know about any of that is because of someone like you. Because you obviously do a great job with all those websites and things like that and keeping track of all that stuff. And, it's just there's been, so many people that have been a part of this. Obviously, having the school record for wins as a coach, that means nothing to me personally because obviously I'm not doing this by myself. Our coaching staff, and I know every coach is going to say this, but I firmly believe that our coaching staff is the best around. I mean, we have guys on that staff that have been and seen the bad times at Unioto. And what probably almost makes me the happiest is experiencing something like this with them because they've gone through those down years. Whereas, I really haven't. I didn't coach till 5 years ago I started coaching. And, we weren't great early on, but we've built it to where we wanted it to be. And, Bill Bryant, our offensive coordinator, he's one of the guys that's probably means the most to in terms of, for me, for us being able to achieve this because he actually was my high school football coach. And then to be able to bring him on staff and coach with him after being coached by him, and just seeing how much he cares about every kid that we have. from the first guy, our best player, to the guy that maybe doesn't play at all. Coach Bryant, he just loves all those guys, and our whole staff is that way. Our defensive coordinator, Ryan Reinhardt, these guys have been here since we took this thing over in 2020. Rhino does a great job with our defense, and I think our defense has given up 5 points a game this season, and he spearheads that with his game plan. He keeps it simple for our guys, makes it a lot of fun for everyone. Bill Adkins has been there forever as well, special teams coordinator. Who else has been with me from the very beginning? My dad has coached the offensive line since we started doing this, and my Uncle Steve has also been the equipment manager and does everything for us. Those guys have been there from the beginning in 2020, but we've been able to add some pieces to our coaching staff. Spencer Smith is one of the best young coaches around. Dalton Ford, Nick Adkins, both of those guys. And the coolest thing about a lot of this is, Dalton and Nick played basketball for me. So having those guys back on staff and Eric Hosley joining the staff, just outstanding young coaches. And then Dave's dad, Cody Long, is on our staff, who does everything we need him to do, is the analytical guru of everything. This guy knows down to the percentage of how many times people run certain plays out of certain formations. It's like, it hurts my head to think about. So it's just like, it makes me happy that I have people like that that are on board, that have been able to reach this. And it's hard to believe that you think 40 wins, but you don't feel like that's very many.
Right. Well, it's a lot less games too than.
I guess.
Yeah.
But when you're passing someone like Mr. Garrett, who was my high school principal, and I know he had it rolling in the early 80s with our football program, and just to be kind of mentioned in the same breath of someone that's so well respected, all that stuff is what's really meaningful to me, I guess you would say. I don't think I missed anyone. Did I miss anyone? Did I name all our coaches? Yeah, all those guys. Just the whole coaching staff. It really is special. It's really special. And it's, hopefully it's not the last. We can get start adding on to that, I guess.
Right. Well, and it's like you said, Piketon this Friday. It's kind of crazy to think this is the midway point. It seems like just like a week ago. We're talking about opening the season, and here we are midway. So, as far as you guys are concerned, pretty happy with where you're at right now. Going, in the league play, not too many injuries or anything like that. So
yeah, we are. We met as a staff this winter, a couple of different times, about how we wanted this season to go. We knew we had a chance to be pretty good with 18 seniors. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
I think the last time we had this many was like in 1994. We had 22 seniors. That's the most I've ever heard of it at Unioto. But this class is exceptional. And so as a staff, we sat down and we mapped out the season, kind of how we wanted it to go. And obviously injuries, those things you can't control, but we wanted to control a lot of things that would maybe prevent us from being hit by the injury bug. And our goal is to get to the playoffs as healthy as we possibly can. Right now, we're fairly healthy. Other than the normal bumps and bruises, but obviously losing Yusuf Wilson was a huge blow to us. But then, and you feel bad about something like that because it was a situation where we're in a running clock in the third quarter. But you got to get guys work, and you got to get guys carries, and you got to get guys used to playing after halftime. Yep. But that's the risk you take. And I hate it, and I laid in bed thinking, second guessing myself, should I had him out there? But, if I didn't have him out there, then he'd be mad at me because he's not getting to play high school football. So, it's just there's a lot that goes into things like that. But overall, I think we're pretty happy. I know we can be a lot better. There's a lot of things we can clean up, and as good as we've been, we can still improve. And I tell these guys all the time after practice, it was a pretty good practice, but as a coach, you're never going to say it was the best because we know it can be better. So I think that's kind of our mindset. We're just trying to improve each time we go out there. And, it is the midway point, so we are starting to shrink practice time down a little bit to keep us a little bit healthier and give us a little bit more time to heal maybe from those bruises that keep getting bruised week after week. So, hopefully we're headed in the right direction.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in, Coach Hoops. Hang around after this. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we will have David Long in from Unioto.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
At North Fork Animal Clinic, we're more than your pet's health care. We're your neighbors. We combine top-quality veterinary care with the availability you can count on, keeping tails wagging and pets thriving. And as proud supporters of youth sports in Southern Ohio, we're committed to helping our whole community grow strong. North Fork Animal Clinic, caring for pets, supporting our community.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show, presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. I appreciate you guys letting me get through that, unlike Coach Hoops earlier. So, what? I'm not going to let that go.
My mic was in the way.
So, I'm John Bruce, along with Jeff Miller. We got Unioto seniors David Long and Cody Braden. How are you guys doing today?
Doing all right. I'm ready to talk.
I'm sure you are. So, it's a 4-0 start for you guys. Big senior class. What does that mean? You guys just go one at a time, but to do this with guys you've grown up with and played with, how much fun is it to get off to the 4-0 start? And then how much fun is it just to go to practice every day and get to work with that group?
One thing I was thinking about earlier is that we haven't been celebrating these wins as much, and I think that's because it's just become the standard. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we haven't, the past 2 years, we started 1-1 and 2-1. That's really not something you're proud of, but to go 4-0 against teams we should be beating, I think that's really something that should be the standard here at Unioto.
Yeah, so when you raise the standard, and I think Coach Miller can kind of state it as well. For us, the standard was not that. It was like, hey, get through until basketball season. Yeah. So, Cody, how much fun is it to be a part of a group that's helping raise that standard?
It's great, especially with the little kids, the youth kids that come out and watch us every day, every night. It helps, it feels good knowing that we're helping them in the future set the standard for that, and they'll be there at some point. So.
And you guys, we talked earlier, it's got to feel special, too, to do this with such a big senior class. Yeah. You look across the county or in Southern Ohio, and 8, 9 seniors maybe in a class. You guys, 18 seniors, yeah. So, and most of you guys have probably played together since, youth ball. So that's got to feel, really good for you guys as well.
Yeah, one thing me and my dad were talking about the other day was how we don't have any linemen in this senior class. About how when we were little, we were all linemen. At some point, everybody on this every senior on this team was a lineman.
I think I saw some pictures of you, David. You were a lineman. You were a lineman.
But yeah.
Still got Landon.
Yeah, Landon.
Yeah,
Landon's 180 pounds, and he's something.
So when you talk about those linemen, those other guys that have stepped into those roles, how important has that been? I'll use Cody. You're getting off to a really nice start running the ball. How much do those linemen impact that in every way?
They impact it a lot, they make the holes for me to go through and push people down the line, pancaking them most of the time, so it helps a lot having them there. And I think we've gotten a lot better since week 1. We had a little hiccups, people didn't know the plays, they're a little nervous, but I think we've gone through that going through week 5. So,
well, and then David, you were a big part of the defense, giving up 5 points a game. One of the big pieces that you guys had to replace, really, besides Jackson, and did Jack move up kind of into a linebacker spot, or is he still safety? Yes.
We walk him up a lot. But
Yeah.
he's still
So
safety.
so besides Jackson and Jack was replacing the DBs. How outstanding have those guys been for you guys this year as well, making it to where the linebackers can really do their jobs?
That's actually something I was more proud of with this group because obviously we don't have all the personnel to have stud cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been starting Micah Strange, who he's 5'8",
Yeah.
doesn't exactly run a 4.4, but that dude's so fundamentally sound. He's become a really great tackler. He does not get beat deep ever. That's something me and my dad were talking about with the Urbana game from a few years ago. If we don't get beat deep, that's a close ball game. I mean, we were playing with him all game. And then on the other side, we got Levi Beam. He was struggling at the beginning of the season, but he's really started taking pride in it and enjoying what he's doing, and enjoying playing on a defense that starts somewhere between 8 to 10 seniors on any given night.
I don't know, Cody, you mentioned like the youth kids coming to the games and stuff. Like, can you just kind of expand on that of like, what does it really mean for you guys as seniors to like, mentor your incoming freshmen? I know you've got a brother that's an incoming freshman, and then down in the junior high levels. What's that mean to you guys as far as like kind of setting the standard and stuff?
like knowing that we can help them understand what it's like in high school, like knowing that we can win games, like as many games as we won the last couple of years, like help them get that mindset where you're not just coming to play, we're coming to win. So I think that's helpful. That's something I didn't have growing up because I went to Logan Elm, and I didn't go to many high school games. So that's something I wish I could have experienced.
David, so you were part of a lot of wins last year. 9 in football, an SEC championship in basketball and baseball. You're not the only one because Jackson was as well. But how much does playing multiple sports, because there's some kids play one, no offense, Cody, because you can play the other ones.
I played baseball sophomore year.
I've seen you play, so I know you can play. But David, like you and Jackson, 3-sport guys, I'm sure there's a couple other guys as well, because I know Levi does really well in track as well. But how much does that impact you on just knowing, like being able to identify ways to win?
One thing is like, people see it as a cliche, but we always talk about the brotherhood. We got it on our shirts right here, is the brotherhood of Unioto. And like when you're playing 3 sports with a guy year round, you really build a relationship with him. You really care about that guy. You want to win for that guy. And I think that really builds selflessness and character in the team. Like if it weren't for sports, I don't think I would be friends with Jackson. That dude's cocky, but I love him to death just because I spend so much time with him. And like Levi, I know he's a great athlete. He's a fun guy to be around. And I think that's why we have so much success, because we just care about each other, and we'll do anything for each other.
Well, there is always a benefit of having that guy that maybe you don't want to play against, but he's on your side, and you always take that, and that's, I know Jackson's one of the many kids, because you can look around and covering different teams, I'm like, I can see it a little bit from different places. But typically, with those teams that have success, there's 1 or 2 of those kids on each team of like, hey, we're doing whatever we got to do, even if it's getting on the other team a little bit, because they're going to take care of their business because they don't want to get beat that bad.
So moving into the Piketon game, Coach Hoops kind of mentioned as the scouting report and Luke back there going into that game. Is it more of a situation for you guys right now, like we're looking at the other team, or is it a scenario where, we're really going to focus more on what we do compared to what the other teams do?
Something I've been thinking about is, obviously we're a bigger school than a lot of these teams we play. We got better personnel than a lot of these teams we play. We got to beat them at what they're good at, because all these teams they give something to us. Like Huntington was super physical. We beat them physically. That's a win for us. Piketon's going to be even more physical. They got 2 big, good tackles, but we got to go beat them physically, and that'll be a win for us. It's like that with a lot of the SVC teams. Like, we're a bigger school than them. We should be beating them, but we got to go out there and beat them at what they're good at, and that's something you can take away every week.
Yeah.
And then just kind of lastly, Cody, how much fun has it been to play with your brother this year, but also get to see how talented that freshman group is? Because you've seen, Harsha's been outstanding every game. But can you just talk about how special that young group is for those guys as well?
It's different seeing all those kids playing with us. Like, I always remember going to all their games, their travel ball games, just like thinking that we're going to be teammates at some point. So it's cool. Most people don't get to do that. Obviously, Newton and Blake got to do it for 3 years, but it's really cool playing with them. So
yeah, and it's always not everyone gets that opportunity. So
we pick on each other a little bit in practice. So I try to block them when I can.
Yeah. So best of luck to you guys the rest of the year. We appreciate you guys coming in. And we've been saying not good luck because we're covering these other teams. So stay healthy, have some fun, and here's to a good competitive game on Friday night. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming in. Hang around with us. We will have a couple more guests here after the break. Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and Ohio Health. I'm John Bruce. Obviously, down in the third chair is not Jeff Miller anymore. It's Connor Rutherford, followed by Cartae, Ligon, and Truitt McGlone of Chillicothe. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, man. We're doing great.
Fantastic.
Good. So, Truitt, I'll start with you because you're the closest.
Yeah.
As a senior, you guys get off to an 0-2 start, but you guys have won the last 2 games. How much fun have the last 2 weeks been? But also, how much can you feel that momentum going forward after kind of a rough season a year ago?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been a starter since my sophomore year, and that was obviously we went 1-9, and last year we ended up going 2-8, and so already having 2 wins under our belt is huge. It's something that I really haven't experienced. I mean, my freshman year we went 7-3, but I didn't play,
Right.
and so to experience 2 wins this early, it's obviously something new to me, and I've been on cloud 9 every Friday night. I look at the scoreboard and I really soak it in. I kind of walk around the field slow, just trying to take in every moment of my senior year, knowing that the momentum has shifted and just riding that, knowing that we have a group of guys and I knew coming into the season with Coach Carper coming and a lot of new coaches being brought in, and just I felt the belief and the strength in guys, and I knew that we were going to win. It wasn't like a big shocker that we've already won these 2 games, but the momentum's huge. But right now, Coach Carper gave a big speech talking about don't drink the Kool-Aid, don't listen. People, we still haven't done what we're set out to do, and that's win an FAC championship, win playoff games, and we still haven't done that. So it's, winning the 2 games is huge. It's a great feeling being out there winning, but job not done yet, and we're gonna keep looking forward each week, 1-0.
Well, and then that's such a good comment for your coach to make, because you want to go 1-0 each week, because that's how you get to the playoffs. That's how you keep making it. You make the standard the standard. You give yourselves the right expectations instead of, hey, we haven't got to this the last couple of years. Okay, we got it. We're happy, but ultimately, working hard every day is going to be the big benefit down the road. So I like to hear that from you. So a lot of people around the area, if you've paid any attention at all, have known what Cartae has done the last couple of weeks. So only a sophomore, 715 yards. Okay, that's ridiculous. 715 yards the last 2 weeks rushing. Cartae. So first off, how much fun is that? Just to have those type of games, because those are you don't know this, Tech Super Bowl type numbers that you could put up on video game numbers. Now I guess it's Madden.
Yeah.
You guys still play Madden, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Madden numbers, and it's something you don't see very often. And how much fun is that to play, especially in front of your home crowd, to get a couple of big games like that?
I feel like it's very exciting, and especially our O-line blocking and doing their job this year. Especially last year was kind of a struggle, but I feel like we got better over the year. I don't know, it's just fun. I run the ball a lot, get a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, and you can just, can you just feel the momentum whenever you break a big run? You can feel that your whole sideline's getting amped up, because I'm guessing you guys still have the big crowds, because Chillicothe typically does. So how much fun is that to be able to do in front of the home crowds as well?
It's exciting. The first when we came out our first game, we haven't seen the pack stands like that in forever. And so it just felt different. As soon as we got out there our first home game, it was nice.
Second play of the game, touchdown. And I remember we ran a pin and pull play, and I mean, me and shout out Tyson Speakman in the center. We literally, I tell him all the time, I'm like, that is the most perfect run play I've ever been a part of. I kicked out the corner. Tyson took down the safety, and Cartae walked in, and then we have the big fireworks going off, and right there is just the moment I was like, yeah, we got it this year.
Yeah, I'm a fan of fireworks, so I'm thinking about just, even though I will say this, I hate parking down by whatever the name of it, Hernstein Field is what I've always known it as. But I'm thinking hey, if I could see some fireworks, and it sounds like you guys are setting off a lot of fireworks the last couple of weeks. So how much does that get everyone kind of excited as well to have one of those kind of special things for you guys as a team?
I think it's something that I've always wanted. I'm a huge guy in environments. Like I always bug Carper. I'm always like, Coach Carper played at Marshall, played at Virginia Tech. Like he knows Enter Sandman. Like he played against it. And so I'm a big guy on, home field advantage. I love the student section. I love packed stands. And we had Jimmy Skinner brought in as our honorary captain. He was telling us about his, I think, 1999 or 2000 playoff game where people would just line up around the track, and it was making me emotional. Just thinking about, like, that within Chillicothe football. It's something I haven't seen. And then we come out, Western Brown, and we're coming out for our pregame warm-ups, and half the stands are full. And so just to have stuff like that with Carper bringing in fireworks and bringing in videographers, and it just makes feeling like nobody else has what we have. And so it's really making Chillicothe feel special again, like what it was. Like playing at Chillicothe really means something.
Yeah, just the environment, and then making it feel like it means more, because you guys know it means something every time you're out there anyway, but it just means a little bit more. So Connor, whenever you're getting out there blocking, making things happen, how much do you enjoy be able to make a big play, to have somebody like Cartae break through, but then you just get to look down and get to see him celebrate? And how much fun is that for you?
I mean, it's the best feeling you could ever ask for. Just absolutely destroying a kid, putting him in the dirt, and then just watching this dude bust a 80-yard touchdown down the field. It's one of the best feelings you could ever experience.
So I know, that has to be fun, but how much fun is it to look at it? You're watching when you guys are watching film, and a coach brings that up and is like, "Hey, look at this block." Like, you guys can stop the play. And you're like, "Yeah, Cartae scored," but it's because of
It's
definitely.
You sit there and all the dudes are just looking at you like, "Connor, you really just killed that dude." Like, you just sit in the film room, everyone's just staring at you. Oh my gosh, Connor, like, that's insane. It's
just like that type of stuff. And I feel like full disclosure, I played soccer, but I know in football you have to have everyone make the right play to be able to make something positive happen. So how important has that been? Has Coach Carper really hit on that this year? I know he brings a big time positive energy, but how much has that helped in making sure you guys are executing each play?
It's one of the most important things in ball. We have a defensive line coach, Coach Miller. He has, for a defensive lineman, he has the 3 A's: alignment, assignment, adjustment. And we live by that in the defensive line room. It's the biggest thing he always expresses: alignment, assignment, adjustment. If you do those 3 things, then you can dominate on the defensive line and anywhere, in any position. That's all that matters.
And we know, so obviously, first glance at me, I'm a middle linebacker, and that's what I care about. But I got approached in the winter. They were like, "Truitt, hey, we know you played a little bit of backup O-line last year. We want you to play center." And I was like I wanted to play tight end. I wanted to score touchdowns. Yeah. Like, I knew we were going to throw the ball more. I want to get in the end zone. But I took a deep thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Like the coaches are coming up to you asking you to do something, and then growing within the O-line room, I've really just grown to love it. And O-line is something you either love it or you gotta. It's like some guys, it's the only thing they can do, and then some guys just love it. And I have grown just to I am so glad. I don't want to do anything else. I love blocking, and so we're undersized. We don't have enough guys, and playing Bloom Carroll and playing the Londons, our confidence got down. Yeah, definitely shot down. They have very stout defenses. And then we knew Western Brown, we can blow it open. And we knew that, and we're telling each other I had a great week of practice. And so just knowing that everybody can do their job on the O-line now and building that confidence is huge. And I think it just means everything. Like, just how tight we are, the starters, how close we're getting. And then obviously putting him in the backfield makes our job easier. Because I was telling him today, I'm like, yeah, Cartae, when you get, past 10 yards, we'll kick our guys out, we'll block our guys, but then once you get in that open field, that's all you. And he does a great job of thanking us. I mean, all the time, thanking the line, and it's such a great feeling, because there's guys out there that just they'll just take the stardom, and O-line is like servant leadership. It's we don't get the praise. Cartae breaking off the huge runs, the people in the crowd aren't chanting, good job Connor and Truitt and for getting the big block, but it's just awesome. I mean, I love running the ball. I love when Cartae can just bust it out, because it's just what he does, and it's what we do now. And So building momentum, but I think all of us doing our job, when we do it and then he can finish, it's just there's no better feeling in the world.
Well, and like you said, you have to be unselfish to be a lineman, because if you're selfish and you're trying to go for that big block, maybe you miss a simple block along the way. But you know, Cartae, I know you would say 7:15 doesn't just happen. It happens because of these guys in front of you. But when you guys had Andrew go down in week 2, how big has Tay been? And I know Andrew's still around a lot in helping. So how important have your quarterbacks been to your guys' overall success so far this year?
I feel like Tay did a very good job stepping up. He's starting to get used to the plays and learning them better, throwing the ball better, and I feel like he's been a good help to the team.
Yeah, and Coach Belt, I mean, our offensive coordinator, I think he cares so much. I've never seen a coach that cares so much about, like his craft, and he just preaches. And so I knew right away that, when Andrew went down, it was kind of like a scary moment because I'm very close with Andrew. I have a lot of faith in Andrew. I think he could have been, and he can eventually come back, but I think he would have been one of the best quarterbacks in this area just with how he can throw it and how we were going to throw it. And Tay, if you know Tay is 100% confidence. Like Tay just out there, like he knows he's going to do this and he's going to do it. Like there's no doubt in his brain that he's not going to be able to do this. And so I think he's done a great job, and Coach Belt is doing a great job coaching on the coaching side, like not putting too much pressure on him. And then obviously Cartae's doing a great job. We put him in the backfield, he'll score. But Tay really stepped up there against Portsmouth West because Portsmouth West was, stuff in the run. We weren't quite getting the right movement that we needed to. Their D-line was kind of solid. Their linebackers flowed well. And so, Cartae, we're kind of talking. We're like, the runs will come, but we got to score now. Because if we didn't get up early, we kind of would beat ourselves up.
And West is a hard team to come back on because they do those little things well as well.
Yeah. And so knowing and having the confidence in Tay to where we could throw the ball, he threw, 2 passing touchdowns. He made good reads. And obviously there's growing pains, a first-time varsity quarterback coming in. But I think he'll only get better as time comes. Then Andrew will come back and he can do whatever. And I think Tay's doing a great job overall.
So you guys have Coach Carper come in. He's played big-time college football. I know you guys believe you want to play, right? Because I know you have some baseball.
I definitely college football has been on my mind forever, and then it's actually it's awesome that we're all here.
Right. So that's kind of what I wanted to get to. But how much does that help to have a coach that has gone through everything that you guys are going to be going through in the recruiting process and the getting prepped, and to knowing what you've got to do once you get to that level? Because I know there's a lot of people that when they get to the level, maybe they're just not prepared. But when you have that coach that went through it, how much do you think that benefits you guys ultimately?
I feel like it helps us a lot. He knows, like what freaking college player would already been through,
right?
And he'll like help us be prepared for it, and just helping us stay focused and stuff.
Yeah. I feel like Carper really sets us up for success. He's a big player person coach. He's told us numerous times that he sends out so many emails just to coaches like, check out this dude. This dude's amazing. He just sets it up for so much success for college, man. He's a great coach.
And kind of the side of recruiting, like he does a great job with all of us. He took us to Ohio State spring practice, see how they play. I mean, obviously the number 1 team in the nation, and watching them practice was surreal. And then he's honest about coaches. He's talking to coaches. He's honest about making our highlight reels in like a positive way, to where he cares so much about us getting to that next level, taking that next step, to where he's gonna bug us. And it's awesome knowing that there's this figure in our life, like a leader in our life that cares so much about us, that he's gonna go to the line and he's gonna call coaches. I mean, he's always on the phone. When I say he's always on the phone, if you go in there on like we go in there Saturday mornings, he's like, all right, ice baths are set. And then he just goes back in his office and he's on the phone.
Literally.
And so, just having him is awesome. But then also on the leadership side, like, I've like always wanted to be a leader of this team just because I've like so much belief in Chillicothe football, and then having him come in, he was the guy I wanted, and then just his stories and telling me and you know, Jet McAllister and Connor Bowen and Nate Sissom, we're all the senior captains, just showing us how to lead and do it the right way because he's done it, and just telling us, you know, what's right and wrong, and just his experience overall within the game just benefits the whole team. And I think, you know, he's fantastic at what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was a really good pickup for you guys as well, and just that, you know, just talking to him on the normal Coaches Calling show, which is on Fridays, you could just tell even after the Bloom game, he was just very positive about you guys doing the little things to get better that you're ultimately going to see. Because really, you guys and Amanda out of the MSL have played the two toughest schedules out of the immediate area teams in the Chillicothe-ish area, as well as you know, like an Ironton as well. But and that's going to get you prepared for further down the line. So you guys have Wilmington coming in on Friday. So Kane Pride, former Wilmington Hurricane here for not long, but so what have you guys seen on the Hurricane, and you know, how confident are you guys going into that game without, you know, going too much into detail or anything?
Mondays we're just kind of figure things out, a lot of like, you know, form rec. That's just basically where we understand what they're going to do defensively, seeing what they're going to run, what they have ran. But I just think, you know, Carper kind of put it best, and it's, you know, it's almost like we're on like a revenge tour, and we're giving the teams, you know, they owe us something. And so, you know, not to hate on them or anything, but, you know, I think last year's game it got a little out of hand. I don't think a lot of guys were mentally ready for it. We were looking forward to conference. But this year's a lot different. They're coming to our place, and just with the momentum we've built and just worried about winning this week, I think, you know, we have a really good chance at them. You know, they lost to Miami Trace, who, you know, I think we match up well with. And I think that it'll be a really good game. I think obviously they have great athletes. The last 2 weeks, you know, some teams haven't matched up with us athletes-wise, and I think they have some dudes. They got some guys that are quick and athletic. And so I think it's definitely going to be, you know, a very good game, both high-powered offense, stout defenses. But, we're going to be watching a lot of film, just trying to figure out how to stop them. But I think, obviously, it's going to come down to just who wants it more Friday night. And I don't think there's a team right now that wants it more than Chillicothe.
Yeah, with and you mentioned them losing 15-9 to Miami Trace. You guys have Miami Trace week 6. You know, I think someone's going to be there covering you guys this week anyway, so you guys can talk about Miami Trace later. We'll have you guys on stream for that one. But Wilmington 3-1, going to be a really good game. If you're in the Chillicothe area, Herrnstein Field, Obadiah Harris Family Athletic Complex, I think. Yeah. Bobo track?
Yep, nailed it.
Okay. The Glatfelder starting chute. That one. That doesn't even exist anymore. So I saw a picture. I saw a picture of it the other day. I kind of jokingly said it to Derek Webb the other day. I was like, I think it's still the Glatfelder start chute. I'm like, it hadn't been Glatfelder forever. So and now it's nothing. But we appreciate you guys coming in. Do you guys have anything else? Yeah. So now I kind of said this to the Unioto guys. We don't typically say good luck because we're covering multiple teams in the area. Wilmington's not in our area. Good luck on Friday. So bring home another W, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to Coach Carper afterwards. So we appreciate you guys. Truitt, McGlone, Cartae, Ligon, Connor, Rutherford. We appreciate you guys coming in to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Calling Show. Hang with us. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with more.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news. Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news. Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo-Hio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place.
You look good in these shorts, right?
And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
At North Fork Animal Clinic, we're more than your pet's health care. We're your neighbors. We combine top-quality veterinary care with the availability you can count on, keeping tails wagging and pets thriving. And as proud supporters of youth sports in Southern Ohio, we're committed to helping our whole community grow strong. North Fork Animal Clinic, caring for pets, supporting our community.
Welcome back to the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show, presented by Southern Ohio Sports Authority and, as always, Ohio Health. Once again, we thank Glow Fiber for providing internet access for tonight's show. And also, normally we would go to it, the Norfolk Animal Clinic scoreboard. Whenever you're watching this, so I think this is going to go out on a Tuesday. We're filming on a Monday. Check it out to see last night's scores, tonight's scores. Whenever you need to, you're going to be able to catch up on any of the scores in the area on the Norfolk Animal Clinic scoreboard. They reopened.
That's what I heard.
So shout out to Dr. Blake Lloyd and his great staff over at Norfolk Animal Clinic for that. And then I don't know if we're going to have one, but we do have the Edward Jones Coaches Hotline where coaches normally call in. So Coach Matt Hoops was on that earlier. And then, Unioto's David Long, Cody Braden, and then Chillicothe's Truitt, McGlone, Cartae, Ligon, and Connor Rutherford all came in. So we appreciate those guys coming in. This is a weird night for us to do it because we typically are Friday nights. We had some technical difficulties on Friday. Not really anything you can do about it. And I will tell you, I would say we tried. Christian, Spradlin, we watched Christian try. He was on the phone making calls to a bunch of different places. We appreciate the coaches that had called in that time, and we hope to hear from you again on Friday when we go live for this week's show. Just a couple things on that. So we reached out to several coaches to see about getting players in or to be able to call in. It's a weird night for it. So hopefully we may be able to do this again later in the season. Maybe just another random night like this when the studio is not being used and we can possibly get some more players in.
I mean, it is nice to be able to sit some kids down here, and shoot some questions at them and give them the opportunity, to get in front of the mic and stuff. So it's been enjoyable this evening having those guys in.
Yeah, and then you got some kids that I wouldn't be surprised if all 5 of those guys are playing college football in the future because you got a junior and a sophomore in there along with 3 seniors, but some well-spoken young men as well. So we look forward to possibly having some kids from other schools in as well in the future. But week 4, I will say if there was ever a time for that to happen, with the scores that were coming in on week 4, it was probably for the best because it was either going to be, it was a pretty dominant win or it was not a great.
There was no real instant classics in week 4, that's for sure.
So it looks like there could be in week 5. So we talked to the Chillicothe kids. They've got Wilmington coming in, the Hurricane. 15-9 losers to Miami Trace in week 2, but they are 3-1. Chillicothe's 2-2. This is a must win for Chillicothe to possibly get in the playoffs. It looks like if they get to 6 wins, they would be in, with it being down to 12 teams instead of 16. Mm-hmm. So this would be, in my mind, a must-win because you've got Miami Trace, Washington, Hillsborough all coming up right after as well. So it does not get easier, and then Jackson in week 10. But the FAC this year, we didn't really talk about it, but Washington has the worst record at Washington and Chillicothe are both 2-2. Everyone else is at least 3-1 with Miami Trace 4-0.
Right. And I think Washington had a nice win this past Friday, right?
So if you look on fantastic50.net, which I know a lot of people know Joe Idle for the playoff standings, but fantastic50.net has each team's history. I'm going to pull it up real quick, going back to 2002. And it's got like the full schedules and everything. And it's also got predictions and whatnot. So Washington's 31-16 win over Granville was listed as the biggest upset in the state this year, and it wasn't particularly close. So Granville was a top 10 team in Division III coming into it, and then Washington beats them by 2 scores. Or 3 scores.
You just threw that website out. I think we're going to have quite a few people probably get caught for hours upon hours, like going through that.
Well, it's just, who am I on? I'm on Chillicothe. So I'm on Chillicothe's page right now. And you go back, you can go through the full history. Well, not full history, but going back to 2002, it's got their highest ranking they've ever been, their best win, their record against like top 10 teams in their conference, or not in their conference, but in their division, their overall record. And then it's also got their record against, there's a lot of stuff on there, against frequent opponents. So Wilmington, they're 2-3 against Wilmington, going back to 2016. So they haven't played them every year, but they played them a lot in the last few years. So,
well, like you said, John, I mean, we are at that midway point, and it's probably the time when you're going to start looking at playoff scenarios and must-win situations and things like that.
Yeah, so you can see a lot of it's got predictive things now. Week 1 can kind of throw things for a loop a little bit because it's based off of a lot of history, but really it starts to settle in by week 2 or 3, and so like by week 5, which we're on this week, it's got like Wilmington as a 2-point favorite there, which means it's a toss-up.
Right.
Which means if you're in Chillicothe, you don't have a game to go to, head over to Herrnstein Field. I listed all of the other names for the field. I've always known it as Herrnstein Field.
Yeah.
I know it's got some other really good sponsors as well, so it was nice to have those guys in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so some of the other big games this week, as you'll be able to see here on the Sosa, Ohio YouTube page, we got a big one on Friday, SOC, really probably championship game. Wheelersburg will be at Lucasville Valley. Both are 4-0. Lucasville Valley has been building to this for the last few years. Wheelersburg has been building to this for the last 60 years. It feels like they don't rebuild. They kind of reload. For Valley, they're a little bit smaller school. They've started to rebuild, but man, whenever they rebuild and they get into that, 2 or 3 year window for being a smaller school, man, they are usually very, very good.
No, you're right. You're right about that, John. I mean, I think you see that with Lucasville and almost all their sports.
Yes.
I mean, they'll have a group of kids that come through that are just really special athletes. A lot of those kids are like multi-sport athletes. You see them on the football roster, on the basketball roster, out on the baseball field, and like you said, it seems like right now Valley's got a group coming through. You know what I mean? That's got this got things turned around.
Yeah, so like going back to 2011, well, really 2009 to 2015, they're in the playoffs 5 times. Worst record was 7-3 in there. They won a regional championship, so it feels like they're starting to get kind of back to that. And then sometimes they'll have a little bit of a lull, but Coach Crabtree does a really good job with them, which I think you can say about a lot of the SOC teams is literally Coach Crabtree does a good job with them.
Absolutely.
Because you've got 3
of them.
Yeah, 3 in the same
Is
division.
there any relation? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Related?
No, I'm not sure, but yeah, they are 3 very good coaches. So Northwest has Coach Crabtree, Waverly has Coach Crabtree, and then Valley has a Coach Crabtree as well. All of them do a really good job.
Absolutely.
And are at kind of different points right now. But that's going to be our live stream of the week. Fantastic 50 has Wheelersburg as a big favorite in that one, but I think with the way those teams play, it's going to be hard for one of them to get off to a big lead just because of all of the different things the opponent can do.
And you said that game is at Lucasville,
at
correct?
Lucasville.
Yes, that can play a part up too. So.
Yeah, and we want you watching ours, but there's going to be at least one other stream down there as well. So pick what you want, and you should be able to see if you're not there. And if you're in the area, why not go to that game? That should be a great atmosphere.
Yes, it should.
2 really exciting teams with some exciting players as well.
Beautiful facility.
Beautiful facility.
Lucasville.
Yeah. A lot of parking, and yeah, it's a great facility. So I would advise if you're not able to watch one of the at least 2 streams that are going to be there. There could be a third. I've only seen stuff about 2. If you're not able to get to one of those, make sure you get down there and watch it if you're not able to watch it on the stream. I know Derek's going to be down there as well, probably getting some road eats in. And yeah, so that's going to be a big one. Maybe the biggest is Jackson at Ironton, because those are 2 of the really, really outstanding programs in our area, year in, year out. Ironton just keeps putting on teams.
Yeah, it's you're kind of waiting. You look at that schedule and you're like, okay, this past week they've got Canisius coming in from New York, and you're like, okay, this might 50 was a 55-21. Yeah. So, I do think though that Jackson they'll head down there. They won't be intimidated. Jackson's schedule kind of has them ready for games like this, so that could be a good game down there at Ironton this weekend.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard hitting for sure at the very least. So a lot of talented players going to be on the field. We nearly talked to one Cade Wolford, his brother Bodie is the quarterback for Jackson, and we were going to have Cade, like, he was getting ready to call in, and he leads the nation in touchdown receptions, yards per catch.
I think he got another one Saturday,
and averaged over 30 yards a catch as well. So hopefully we'll be able to talk to him later on down the road. But Cade Wolford, one of the pride of the Southeast type kids. There's a lot of kids that are playing Division I and doing well, but if you can lead the country in anything, is pretty good.
And there's that you talk about that Jackson game in Ironton this weekend. You're going to have a handful of kids in that game that are going to eventually be Division I kids. I think the Jake Allen kid from Jackson, the lineman's, I think he's going to UNC Charlotte. Quarterback Bodie Wolford's heading up to Bryant, so Ironton's got their kids that are already committed places. So there's going to be a ton of talent on that field Friday.
Yeah, just a whole lot of talent. Takes Memorial Stadium. That's going to be a red-hot ticket to get down there in Ironton Way. Should be an outstanding game. There's going to be a lot of other good games in the area as well. So make sure you check in to the Coaches Call-In Show on Friday night, probably around 9:30, 9:45. To hear from a lot of the local coaches after that game. So we appreciate all those coaches call in. A few other things, just real quick. Shane Combs, Dewey Daly, I believe on Thursday we'll probably have a big-time volleyball game. We don't know exactly for sure, so we can't really announce it yet. But a couple things went out today, even though we just saw Cartae Ligon in here. We also had a soundbite with Cartae Ligon that just got posted on our YouTube page, as well as one with Wheelersburg Soccer's Nick Sylvia. Sosa Overtime with me and Shane goes out usually on Mondays as long as I'm in the country. And then just any of our interviews you can catch on the YouTube page as well. You can see some shorts as well, the little clips from different games, and then on our Facebook page as well, and all of our stories, sosaohio.com. I know Brock went down to a really good soccer game tonight, so look for that story tomorrow. Got pictures. More times than not, we're going to be out hitting the road trying to find the best games, or I don't even know if it's our slogan anymore, or the best stories that Southern Ohio's got to offer. But for the most part, it's just, put in a lot of legwork to celebrate these kids in this area. So, you have, even though we're located in the Chillicothe area, which is why typically we have the Chillicothe area kids on. I know we had some Wheelersburg kids on last year. I believe we had some Minford kids also. Yeah, so we had some Minford kids as well. Not the easiest way to get up here, but we appreciate anybody that can get in here anytime. So, it's a big area that we cover, but there are some other people covering the area as well, so follow them as well. So anytime we can get out and celebrate how good of athletes that we've got in the area, so like Ironton, Zane Williams, Caden Edwards, guys like that, where maybe it's difficult for us to get down and see them every week. Usually there's someone there covering them in some way. So shout out to all those guys, and any coaches that we can talk to, we appreciate. Christian's going to be out trying to get a hold of you, try to say, hey, this is a good time to call in. If we can get you on, great. If not, we'd like to hear from you at some point in the year.
Yeah, so, a great night tonight. Glad to get those five players in, along with Coach Hoops. And like you said, John, I think there's some dandy football games lined up for this weekend, and I'm kind of looking forward to Friday night.
Yeah, it should be a really fun Friday night. Should be outstanding. Like I said, Carson Francis, Shane Combs will have the call down at Lucasville Valley for Sosa, and also I believe Carson Wickline will be on camera instead of Kenneth Hay, because Kenneth is he's a leader in his church, or his, I don't want to say church group, but it's a group down at his university. So it's really important for him to take the weekend to be a leader. So because we are more than just sports. So,
right. Yeah. Right.
So it is very important. You got to do some leadership stuff this weekend as well. So how was the coaches clinic?
It was good. A lot of you're always, when you go listen to some of those college coaches, it's just a matter of picking out pieces that, man, this really hits home, and I like this. I know, and then just not only the X and O stuff, just to listen to them talk about building programs and culture and things like that. It's just And just along with networking with other coaches,
Right.
It's just good weekend. I was up at the coaches clinic for basketball weekend, and man, it was nice to kind of get away, step away, and it's right before your season, so your wheels are turning anyway, and so it was a good weekend in Columbus.
Yeah, I always enjoy being able to get out to those as well. So glad to hear you're able to get there. And once again, we appreciate Coach Carper, Coach Hoops having their guys in. Hopefully, here in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to get some more players in as well, as we don't want to just limit it to just a few. So we had Frankie Hirsch in here last week. Last week. So we just want to get as many kids in to be able to highlight them as we do on sosohio.com, all of our socials as well. And then, like I said, anybody else that covers it, follow them. I mean, it's
all about the kids.
Yeah, it's all about the kids. They're going to put in the effort. The kids are, and we want to make sure to celebrate. We covered like 66 schools or something like that. So I mean, there's going to be times we're going to miss somebody. So if somebody else steps in and takes care of it, that's perfect, because we want to make sure to celebrate them as much as possible. So you got anything else?
No, good night. Ready to going to be. Like we've talked about these coaches on the short week.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the short week this week. We're going back in here Friday night. So
yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get going live on Friday night. We will know that for sure here in a couple of days. And if anything like comes up, we'll definitely be putting that out, because we didn't know until about 9:50 that we had some issues last week. So we will know a little bit earlier in the week. But for our producer, Christian Spradlin, we appreciate him for all he's done, all of our extra help who have gone out of their way to come in. For Chillicothe, Coach Carper, Cartae, Ligon, Truitt, McGlone, Connor Rutherford, and then for Unioto, Coach Hoops, Cody, Braden, David Long. I'm John Bruce for Jeff Miller. You've been watching the Haynes Total Healthcare Coaches Call-In Show, presented by Ohio Health.